the end of the day, I was CEO of FTX, and that means whatever happened, wherever it happened, I had a duty. I had a duty to all of our stakeholders, to our customers, our creditors. I had a duty to our employees, to our investors, and to the regulators in the world to do right by them, to make sure the right things happened at the company. And clearly, I didn't do a good job of that. Clearly, I made a lot of mistakes or things I would give anything to be able to do over again. I didn't ever try to commit fraud on anyone. I was excited about the prospects of FTX a month ago. I saw it as a thriving, growing business. I was shocked by what happened this month, and reconstructing it. Where there are things I wish I had done differently. Yeah. I mean, I'm deeply sorry about what happened. Here's the long and short of what happened, and I'll start by saying, just to make a distinction here, you look at the US platform, you look at the international platform. The US platform is a US regulated platform with American users. To my knowledge, that's fully solvent, that's fully funded, and I believe that withdrawals could be opened up today, and everyone could be made whole from that none of these problems plagued the US platform. Then you look at the international platform, for their non-US users. And I mean, as the letter says, Alameda Research did have a long position. And the international platform, it's a margin trading platform, it's a derivatives platform. It's a platform where all the clients were, going on, placing something as collateral and using that to put on a position, whether that's a futures position, a spot position, a borrow. And what the exchange was storing was the collateral from all of those positions. Alameda Research was one of those that put on positions there. And as I try and reconstruct this, over the last month, I have limited access to data, but my view of it, from what I have been able to see, is roughly that, basically, look, a year ago, Alameda had, I think, something like 10% leverage. Had something like 10 times the assets of the position that it had on. Over the course of the last year, there were a number of market crashes that drove the value of those assets down and the leverage up. I think it was, to my knowledge, still under 2x leverage, as of a month ago. You look at what happened this month, and in a few days, all out, PR assault, which led to a total market collapse in a pretty short period of time, no bid side liquidity. I think more than $10 billion wiped off in the matter of days. And realistically speaking, no ability for FTX to be able to liquidate that position and generate everything that was owed from it.
According to an interview with the YouTube channels, the New York Times events, Sam Bankman-Fried, who is the co-founders of the FTX crypto firms, gave his first live interview since his company filed for bankruptcy. Andrew Rose Sorkins of the New York Times asked the Bankman-Fried to address the allegations of fraud and the mismanagement, and whether the people of the organizations who are owed money will get any of it back. Hello, welcome back again. In this video, we're going to be talking about the journey of the FTX co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried from hero to zero. So watch the video until the end and subscribe to the Bitcoin Thinking channel and turning on the red notifications button. So back to the main topics, guys.
He has been on an apology tour, indeed, in the past few days over the collapse of his crypto exchange, FTX, and the ripple effects it had on the crypto industry. In multiple interviews, he explained his take on FTX's past financial situation and shared details on what's currently left in his bank account.
According to the YouTube channel Yahoo Finance Live's Brad Smith discusses the expectations for the Sam Bankman-Fried's first public appearance. Who is the Sam Bankman-Fried? Let me explain in some little bit points of the video. Sam Bankman-Fried was one of the richest people in the crypto thanks to his FTX exchange and the Alameda Research trading firm before his empire came crashing down in November 2022. After users began withdrawing their investments from the FTX at a rapid pace, Bankman-Fried filed for bankruptcy for FTX US operations and the Alameda research. It's a stunning fall from grace from Bankman-Fried, who had been heralded as a modern JP Morgan for swooping as to in the safe troubled crypto firms before his own firm blew up. The son of the two Stanford law professors, he studied physics at MIT and traded ETFs at a point from being uplifting to the crypto trading in late 2017. He launched FTX in 2019 and grew it into one of the leading exchanges for buying and selling crypto derivatives. In early 2022, investors valued FTX and its US operations at a combined $40 billion. Most of his wealth, which peaked at an estimated $26.5 billion, was tied up in the ownerships of about half of the FTX and the share of its FTT tokens. Sam Bankman-Fried was the second largest billionaire down to the Democratic caucus in the 2022 midterm elections, giving nearly $40 million. FTX collapse was a crime, not an accident. Sam Bankman-Fried is a con man and the fraudracer of the historic appropriations, but you might not learn that from the New York Times CoinDesk chief insights columnist David Z. Morris. Cryptocurrency exchange FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protections on November 11, 2022 after a swift fall from the grace. The company valuation plunged from $32 billion to the bankruptcy in a matter of days, dragging down founder and the CEO Sam Bankman-Fried's $16 billion net worth to the near zero. FTX collapse shocks to the volatile crypto market, which is lost billions in the value, dropping below $1 trillion. The consequence of the FTX's rapid decline and the collapse will likely impact cryptocurrencies well into the future and could even drag down broader markets. On November 16, 2022, a class actions lawsuit was filed in a Florida federal court alleging that the Sam Bankman-Fried created a fraudulent cryptocurrency scheme designed to take advantage of the unsophisticated investors from across the country. Other celebrities' names in the lawsuit include Stephen Curry, Squally O'Neal, Shohei Ohtani, Naomi Osaka, Larry David, and Kevin O'Reilly, who allegedly helped Bankman-Fried facilitate the plan. The U.S. House Financial Service Committee said it will hold a hearing in December 2022 on the FTX collapse. Launched by the Bankman-Fried when he was just 28, FTX became one of the largest crypto exchanges in just 3 years with the valuations of the $32 billion. Bankman-Fried used aggressive marketing, including a Super Bowl ad campaign and the purchase of the naming right to the home of the Miami Heat basketball team. He became known for his political lobbying and donation, as well as for working to the sports of the cryptocurrency industry more broadly. As value priced in early 2022, it facilitated deals totaling about $1 billion to bail out a cryptocurrency campaign struggling as a result of the decline in the token prices. What happens to the FTX? FTX collapse took place over a 10-day period in November 2022. The catalyst for the crisis was a November 2 scoop by the CoinDesk that revealed that Alameda Research, the coin trading firm also run by the Bankman-Fried, held a position worth $5 billion in the FTT, the native token of the FTX. The report revealed that Alameda Investment Foundation was also in FTT, the token that is a sister company had invented not a fiat cryptocurrency or the cryptocurrency. That prompted concern across the cryptocurrency industry regarding Bankman-Fried's company's undisclosed leverage and the solvency. FTX liquidity crisis and the Binance deal. By the next day, FTX was experiencing a liquidity crisis. Bankman-Fried attempted to reassure FTX investors that its assets were stable, but customers demanded withdrawals worth $6 billion in the days immediately following the CoinDesk report. Bankman-Fried searched for the additional money for the venture capitals before turning to the Binance. The value of the FTT fell by the 80% in the 2 days. On November 8, Binance announced it had reached a non-binding agreements to buy the non-US business of the FTX for an undisclosed sum, effectively the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange bailing out its close rival. Binance cancelled deals to bail out the FTX. The promise of a rescue was short-lived as Binance backed out of the deal a day later. On November 9, the exchange said that it would cancel the FTX deal after corporate due diligence raised concerns about the mishandling of the cryptocurrency customers' funds and among their issues. And the question arises, are FTX assets frozen and other implications? Why? On November 10, the Bahamas securities regulators froze the assets of the FTX digital markets, FTX Bahamian subsidiaries, following news that Bankman-Fried was seeking up to $8 billion in the capital to bail out the exchange. On the same day, the California Department of the Financial Protections and Innovations announced that it had initiated an investigation of FTX. Bankman-Fried apologized the same day for the liquidity crisis and admitted on Twitter that the FTX non-US exchange had insufficient funds to meet customers' demand. Bankman-Fried said that poor internal laboring caused FTX to the miscalculated leverage and liquidity. On the same thread, he said Alameda would wind down trading. Bankman-Fried steps down as CEO, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Bankman-Fried steps down on November 11 as CEO of FTX, replaced by John J. Ray III, who led energy trading firm Enron through the bankruptcy proceedings years before. FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protections the same day, revealing that thoroughly 113 other affiliated companies were also part of the proceedings. The bankruptcy filing indicated that the FTX had assets in the range of the $10 billion to the $50 billion and the liabilities in the range of the $10 billion to the $50 billion. Unauthorized transactions on the FTX. Within hours of the filing for bankruptcy, FTX said it was the victim of unauthorized transactions and it would have more detailed assets to cool storage for the security purposes. Outside analysts said that the suspect that about $477 million was stolen from the FTX in the suspect hack. The Bahamas takes controls of the FTX digital assets. The Securities Commissions of the Bahamas (SCB) took control of the cryptocurrency assets held for the bankruptcy exchange FTX on November 18. The SCB said it instructions Bankman-Fried to move crypto assets to the regulator's wallet to protect creators. How did FTX fail? How did FTX fail? FTX filed for the bankruptcy on November 11, 2022 after a surge of the customer withdrawals earlier in the month. CEO Sam Bankman-Fried admitted that the company did not have sufficient assets in reserves to meet a customer demand. Did FTX get hacked? Whether however or filing for bankruptcy, FTX was hacked. The exchange noted unauthorized transactions that may have stolen close to the $500 million in assets and which were reported by the Elliptic. The hacker continued to drain wallets for the several days using that analysts called on the chain spoofing. The hacker reportedly then invested those funds into Ethereum. What will happen to the FTX in the future? As of mid-November 2022, the security regulators to the Bahamas has frozen FTX assets and the company is strongly advising against the customers' depositors. Other regulatory investigations are ongoing, also civil lawsuits and being filed in such classes action lawsuit. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried is named along with several celebrities who have promoted FTX in the past, including Tom Brady, Larry David, Naomi Osaka, Squally O'Neal, and the Steffi Curry. That's it for today. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Bitcoin Thinking channel and turning on the red notifications button so you'll never miss any for future fascinating and interesting videos like that one.